Hello folks, welcome to Netcruzer RC. Today I need to talk to you about the Traxxas Rustler 4x4 and some of the new extreme heavy duty axles that Traxxas has developed. Specifically we're talking about the 6851A and 6852A extreme heavy duty axles. I've discovered a bit of a problem with these, and I've been going back and forth with Traxxas a little bit trying to explain what I've discovered. Now if you saw my first run video of the Rustler 4x4, you would have saw that I ejected an axle. And at first I thought that it wasn't broken, but in the end it actually is, and I'll show you where it broke. You can see that it ripped through on this side. It actually cracked all the way through. I'm going to try and get you a better shot of that. Actually cracked through right here. In my opinion, these are being damaged while they're being assembled. This side is good. It should have this little notch, but this side, it's been chewed up. And that's because these are so thick now that trying to get the ball stud into place actually damages them. This is the other side of this axle. And here's what the other side looks like. Do you see the problem? You can see the silver pin. That's the side that's been damaged as they put the ball socket in place. Every single axle that I have on my Rustler 4x4 is like that. Every single one, whether it be inside or outside of the axle, on every side of the U-joint, it has that small bit of damage on it where it weakens it. Now they've designed this part so that it have a very small notch to aid in assembly, but the problem is that it's still being damaged as they're trying to assemble them. In comparison, here's an old style axle. This is the old /4x4 axles versus the Rustler 4x4 axle. Now the brand new /4x4 Ultimate 2018 edition is getting these new extreme heavy duty axles. These are the old style axles, and they also had a very small notch in them. These ones are the 6851X and 6852X. These new ones are getting chewed up from assembly, and I feel like that's making them even easier to break than the old style. It's hard to show you on the actual truck, but here's some unopened 6851A. These are the new axles. So this side, you can see this side looks okay, but if you check the other side, and look at that, it's got a huge notch in it. It should not be that way. That is significantly weakening these parts, and they're all like that. Every single new A part that I've looked at is like that. I've been on the chat with Traxxas. I had them check their own axles that they have in their support center, I guess, and they also saw the issue, but they told me that that's normal. It's to aid in assembly. Well, but it should not be chewed through like that on the other side. They're jamming that ball socket in place, and it's damaging them and weakening these axles. That's my take on it. When you look at the old ones, if you look at the old X versions, they never had that problem. You can inspect every single one of these U-joints, and there's no big score mark where where the axle joint was jammed through. I mean, this is a used one, so it's a little bit chewed up a little bit, but you know, you can see the small little notch there, but it's not chewed through. Because the U-joint system is not damaged, it ends up being stronger than the new ones. To say the least, I'm disappointed. These were going to be my go-to 3S axles. They were going to be cheap to replace when you did break them, but they were supposed to be significantly stronger than the old style, because look at how much bigger they are. See how much thicker the plastic on the new part is than the old one, but the problem is that it's being damaged by having that ball socket jammed through it. So, at this point, what I'd like you to do is please inspect all your axles on each side of the U-joint. Like that side is good, that's what it should look like, but this side has damage where they jammed the ball socket through. I mean, I can understand why, because these are significantly harder to assemble. I tried to put a ball socket in, I just wanted to see if I could actually put this back together, even though it's cracked all the way through. I was unable to do it, even using the special tool. Using the U-joint tool, I found it difficult to get this piece back in place. So I gave up and I opened up one of my new axles, and lo and behold, that's what I found was a pre-weakened part. I am not impressed. So I have been in contact with Traxxas. They're telling me that this is normal. I don't agree. That it looks minor, but that little chunk that's gone is significantly weakening this part. So now that top of it is the weakest link, and it'll crack right through. So that's the problem with the Rustler 4x4 axles. That's also going to impact the Slash 4x4 Ultimate 2018 edition, as well as anytime you're going to order 6852A or 6851A in the short term. It's December 2018 right now. You know, I'm only talking to support staff. I showed them some pictures. They're saying that the notch should be there, and it should. There should be a small notch, but it should not be ripped through like that on that side. If you do break through an axle on that weakest point, please call Traxxas and let them know that happened, because when I reported this in, they said that they are not having a problem with the axles and they haven't had many reports of breakages on them. So that's where we're at. In my opinion, these new axles do have an assembly issue, and they are going to break prematurely because of how they're putting that ball socket in there. Traxxas says that that's normal. I disagree. And the other problem with that is that you cannot buy undamaged parts because they're no longer selling this as a separate consumable. You can only buy full sets of axles. You used to be able to get this, just the U-joint part, as a 6828X, and now if you look up the part number 6828A, it's a whole half shaft. It's essentially this and this together. They're only selling it pre-assembled, so you can't get one that hasn't been chewed through, because that's really what I wanted to get, to be able to prove it, is I want one of these before it's ever been assembled to see. So yeah, I'm disappointed in those new axles. I really wanted them to be good because I planned on putting them in my Slash 4x4. When I broke the stock old Slash axles, I wanted to be putting these newer grade axles in. Alright guys, so if this helped you out, if you learned something, hit that like button. If you're new around here, subscribe. If you want to talk to me, leave a comment down below. Let me know what your axles look like. Are you seeing that? Are you seeing that the one side of the U-joint has been chewed up from when they jammed the ball in? I'm quite curious, because so far every single one of these new axles that I've looked at is like that, and that is going to cause some premature breakage. It might not happen right away. For sure, they're certainly being weakened beyond their design by having that chunk missing out of them. Alright guys, just wanted to get that out there. Okay, thanks for watching.